Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And today we are using the Treasured Medallion stamp set along with the Pretty Perennials bundle. So these are retiring stamp sets that will be leaving us at the end of June with the mini catalogue, so it is really a last chance saloon to get these with less than a week to go. And on the 24th, which is tomorrow, there is going to be a free shipping event, so do check that out as well. It should automatically qualify. I think it's if our memory serves me correctly, it's £35 or £40. I can't remember which way around it is, whether it's the euros, but the details are in the flyer that's going to be on the shop front if you want the details of that. So all the shop links will be in the description bar. Do check those out if you do fancy purchasing anything. So that's what we are using to make this pretty little card. Isn't it lovely? So it was going for a monochromatic feel with a bit of pop of the bright colours in there as well, for something really nice and simple. So I've already cut my my card base as normal. I've got a piece of black cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then my white piece is 5 1/8 by 3 3/8. Okay, so they're going to go together really nicely like that. So my card layers are all sort of common margins and increments down. So normally I would take off 1 inch off the width and the height and do a deeper border around the edge, but this is just 1/2 inch shorter and narrower than the usual card layers if I was doing a full card front. Okay, I'm going to mix up the colours. So on my original sample here, I've got Flirty Flamingo and Granny Apple Green. Going to switch those out for Mango Melody and Pear Pizzazz for this card, and I've already die cut a couple of these already. We need to do one more of each, so we're just going to bring in some white cardstock just to get those stamped out. So those are the ones from the Pretty Perennials. So we'll use the Mango Melody, just light tapping on the ink pad, get a nice sharp image with these photopolymer stamps. They're really easy to use. Light tapping again, and stamp that down. Okay. Oh, should we live dangerously? See if we can get our sentiment on this piece of paper. The sentiment is from the Treasured Medallion set. And I'm just going to do that with black memento. Again, just light tapping on the ink pad. Get that well inked and stamp that down. So the Treasured Medallion is a cling stamp, so that's why it's got the grey backing on there. So let's put this is the smallest rectangle out of the Stitch So Sweetly collection, which I adore. It's just an absolutely phenomenal die set. Really love it. And then we've got our Pretty Perennials dies. I think they're called Perennials dies, I think. And then the leaf over there. Yay, you can get them all on this piece of card. So long as your dies don't overlap, you can send as many through as you can on your cutting plate. Now those would probably fit through the mini altogether actually, but I've just got my my larger cut and emboss to hand on my desk. So there we are, we've got beautiful sentiment with that beautiful stitch detail, our little flower, and our leaves. So we've got three each of those, and the sentiment ready to go there. So what I do need to do is stamp my medallion onto my white layer, which I'm going to do with the Stamparatus. So I'm going to bring the stamp case in under that window there, so that we've got something to press against when we're doing our inking. Just, there's a spot of water on there where I'd cleaned up from last time, so we don't want any of that, do we? And we're going to just position this so that the image partially goes over the edge. It's very easy to see through when the light isn't glaring at you, sorry about that. So we'll just position that cardstock right there, and you can hold it in place with one of the magnets, or use both if you want, but the you don't want them to come together, the magnets, because they will snap together. They can break when they do that, and they're very difficult to pull apart again afterwards, so I try and just use one at a time unless I really need to use both. So the medallion will fit on an E-block if you don't have a Stamparatus, and likewise if you have trouble holding a larger block, the Stamparatus is a really good tool to use. And rubbing it with a soft cloth like this reduces any pressure on your wrists, so that you can get a really nice beautiful stamped image. And of course the beauty of the Stamparatus is that if any of that had been not quite stamped well enough, or we wanted to make it a little bit darker and go over it twice, then we can, because that cardstock hasn't moved, the stamp hasn't moved, excuse me, which means we can rub over that again, and we can get a really deep dark image. So I hope that shows in as clearly as it does in real life. But that really has intensified that stamped image. Now the base plate here, you can wipe clean. So it hasn't needed a damp cloth in this particular occasion, it's just wiped away, no problem. And then the stamp chamois is perfect for us for wiping clean your stamps that are mounted on your Stamparatus. So that's come up beautiful and clean and ready to go for next time. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way, and that. And that ink will dry very, very quickly. There's no worries about that. We can get that layered up onto our black layer, and then layer this onto the card. Just using Stampin' Seal. Do that, just make sure you put this on the right way around. Swap that off to the right, and just make sure your crease is good and sharp on your card there. Okay, so now it's just a case of adding our little details. So I'm going to bring in some dimensionals for the little sentiment here, because you know it isn't a Verity card without some dimensionals, right? So we'll drop that in somewhere around here, I think. So we've got that medallion sort of hugging that that sentiment slightly. Okay, and then we've got all our other little elements here. Let's just separate those out a little bit. I'm going to shape our flowers. Use a round tool of some description and rub them into the palm of your hands. Works very well. Okay, and then we will drop in our foliage. So I'm just going to use my wet glue just to slot those in behind those sentiments. Rule of threes. So we get this nice little pop of the green there. Then we want a blob of glue on the back of each of these. Can put those into position too. Okay. So just a little cluster around that sentiment. Just give those a little bit of a press just to help them get put into place. And we'll just grab some rhinestones which fit beautifully in the centre of these little flowers. Absolutely perfect. Of course, depending on your colourway, there are the champagne rhinestones that you could use, or you could use the little pearls, depending on what kind of look you're going for. They're all a similar size, so you could use any one of those, and that's the card done. Very, very simple. And I say the focus was on these lovely retiring sets, which I think are just fabulous. It's a real shame that they're going. So I wanted you to see that, and I was going for a monochromatic look with the sort of pop of colour. So if you've got limited supplies, you can actually achieve something really, really pretty just with a few little bits and pieces, and if you haven't got many ink pads to hand. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. Like I say, all the details, etc., of the things I've used to make the card today are going to be linked in the description bar below. Look out for that free shipping promotion, always worth it. It just saves you a few pounds there on your order. And like I say, these are in the last chance saloon now. All right, do take care, everybody. Stay safe out there, won't you? All right, take care. Bye.